Hi, this is Jennifer McGuire for 2peasinAbucket.com. This is week 3 and we're going to talk about paints. All of these cards were made using Ranger's paint dabbers. There's several different techniques to create these kind of interesting backgrounds. First, I'm going to start with a faux marble background. This is one of my favorite techniques that I've learned from Tim Holtz. It's very easy to do, and you can get this really neat marble looking finish that you see here in the blue. First of all, these are paint dabbers. They're acrylic paint from Ranger. The reason I like these is they've got an easy applicator and the colors are great. You can see there's a light shade, a bright shade, and an earth tone for each of the colors that they carry. So it makes mixing them fun. Then they also have metallics like the pearl and the gold. Pearl is my favorite. Now the way this works is you just take the cap off. You want to store these upside down, by the way, because it keeps the paint ready to go. And when you squeeze it and start to get the paint out, it just comes out and dabs on with this little applicator here. So you can see how easily it comes out. Now this is cut and dry from Ranger, and you just want to cut a piece of this off. This is great for blending and painting with, and inking. Now I'm going to use the gray side of this and kind of apply this color like you would spackle on a wall. I mean, you pick it up like that, but then you just kind of swirl it around and apply it to your paper. And notice I pick up a lot of the blue and a little bit of the pearl. Now this pearl, you can do it with any of the metallics. This pearl will give it a nice shine and a marbly finish. It's really neat. It adds this look of dimension. It's really cool. You can barely see it in this, but in real life it looks great. Now, since I'm working on my Ranger craft sheet, cleaning up this is very simple. I just spritz it with water, scrape it away with the side of an acrylic mount, and then wipe it up with an old t-shirt. Really easy to do. This flower image here was cut using my quick cut silhouette, and I wanted to show you how I inked it up. I always start with cutting a bunch out of shapes with my silhouette from white cardstock. And I thought I'd also show you real quick. This is how you want to remove these foam pieces from your inking tool. You want to put your thumb, one thumbnail on the Velcro and one thumbnail on the blue part of the foam, and it will peel right off. Now if this Velcro starts to come off, you can staple gun that into place. But this, if you put your fingernail in there, it should peel right off if you just do it carefully and slowly. Okay, so now back to this. I'm just quickly inking this up, changing the color. It's easier than trying to change color any other way. Now this is one of my favorite script stamps from Hero Arts. It's great for any kinds of backgrounds. And here I'm going to just ink it up and stamp right onto this stem that I cut using my silhouette. And I always stamp the bottom first, then the top, because it's easier to see where to place it next. Now I like to do partial stamping on my background sometimes, just like in the corners or the sides. How I do this is I ink up my stamp with any kind of stamp. I like to use the distress inks, or with any kind of ink, sorry. I like to use the distress inks. And then I dab away some of the ink just with a paper towel or a t-shirt. And then you stamp it down, and you can see how it's stronger there where I left the ink on and softer where I took it off. So you just get some ink kind of in the corner, and I did it again up there, you can see. I like to do that. It's great for just these distressed backgrounds. Next I'm going to show you one of my favorite techniques also. It's called layered masking. And you can see on this background there's a lot of dimension with the stamping and the masking and the paint. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very easy to do. You want to have some sort of mask. I like these ones from Tim Holtz because they're clear and they will just stick in place temporarily. Mine's been painted on before and I'm too lazy to clean it. So you can see where it is, but you could clean it off if you wanted to. If you don't have any masks, you can also use die cuts and temporarily glue it in place. Now I'm going to use 3 shades of the same color. This is a lights, a brights, and earth tones. That's what the dabbers come in. And I'm going to apply just dabs of ink right on over the mask. So I did some lights, this is the earth tones, and I'm going to do just a touch of the bright. You can see how easy it is to do this. Now I'm going to take the foam side, the white side of cut and dry, and just pounce right on over the mask. Now you could do this to a background without masking and get like this one in particular looks like a terracotta when you're finished, but like a terracotta pot. But you can do it any way you want. Now I'm going to remove this mask, and you can see the white underneath. And I'm just going to take the mask and put it somewhere else and do another layer. This one I just put some light paint over and over the mask. Then I'm going to remove the mask, and now I'm going to put some brights and darks over it. And you'll see how you get like a dark spot where the mask was. Just adds to kind of the layered feel of it. Gives a look of texture. You can see it under there. Real subtle, great for backgrounds. So I just applied some more paint over the background, and now I'm putting the mask over some of the paint, and then I'm going to put more paint on top. So really I'm just doing all different kinds of layering and getting different looks. So you can see the results there. And since these paints are matte, it gives a really nice chalky looking finish. I really like it. This is another one I did with the same technique, and you can see with different masks. And this works great with mixing colors too, but I like using the 3 shades. Now here's another fun technique. This is faux textured metal. This is another shape I cut from my my Silhouette die cut machine. This is a metallic paint dabber. This is copper. I really like the copper. And you're just going to pounce it right on to the die cut. And you can see it kind of bubbles up. Now when you zap this with a heat gun, it bubbles up even more, and when it dries you get this really neat textury look. This is a great way to just change up some of the looks of your old embellishments too. And here you can see a close-up of it, and there's the finished card. Really looks neat. Just another way to add some dimension. Now this one is kind of like a bunch of stamping and layering and masking all together, and it mixes 2 different paint colors. So you can see it close up here. Now the first thing this is a piece of chipboard that's just got a piece of ivory cardstock over it, and I'm going to stamp this image. This is one of the script stamps from Hero Arts, and actually is a love letter from my great-grandfather to my great-grandmother, and they kind of altered it and turned it into a stamp. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this die cut so that it temporarily stays in place. And I also added a little bit of the scattered straw yellow ink to that background too. Now I'm just using the foam side of a piece of cut and dry to apply some lettuce, which is green paint dabber paint, right over the surface. So you can see the die cut there. And all the stamping I did is all covered up now. And I'm taking a little bit of pool ink and kind of swirling it on, dabbing it on, so that I get a blue and green kind of swirled together. You can see the results there. My die cut is still there, so it's acting as a mask. Now these are perfect pearls. It's just a pigment powder that offers a little bit of shine. And I'm going to dip my brush in it and just kind of pounce it all over the surface of this. You could flick a little bit on, put a little bit just in the corners, whatever you want, but I kind of went around here and dabbed it all over. So you can see the shine that it gives. It's really pretty. And I found that it's really hard to achieve these kind of looks with any other acrylic paints. These just are formulated to work really well with techniques like this. So here I'm just putting a light mist of water on the surface, and then I'm going to heat it with a heat gun just to set everything there. Gives it a nice finished look. So there you can see, and now I'm going to remove my mask. Remember, I just temporarily adhered it in place, and you can see the stamping underneath. So you can go back and add some distressing to this if you want to. It's totally up to you. Now I thought I'd show you how to use the 7 Gypsies bindery punch. That's what I used to poke those holes in the side to make this into a little mini book. This is the punch. I've actually altered mine. It usually is red and black. And right there is where the holes get punched when you push something in it. And you press this button and it just punches right down. Very easy to do. You can measure things out and do all sorts of fun things with this. They have some videos on the 7 Gypsies website on how to use it. But I like to keep it simple, and with this, nice thick chipboard, it punches right through very easily, whereas my other tools wouldn't. So I just put it in, push a button, and when I pull it out, I'll have 2 holes right through it. And now I can take all the other pieces of my book, these pages and the back of the book, and put it in the same spot and poke holes also. So now I've done all that, and I can just layer all my pieces together and tie some ribbon through it. So it's easy to do. You can see how fast mini books are to make with this tool. And here's the finished result. I just put some pearls on there, tied some ribbon through, added a stamped image, and I'm good to go. For more information on this, please visit 2peasinabucket.com on June 29th.